Hi, so if you've been watching our YouTube channel, you will know when we go round to the car boots, we are generally buying the odd Barbie doll or Ken doll and fashion dolls here and there. What you didn't know is over the last 5 years, we've had a turnover over 6 figures. On top of that, we've sold 14,000 items and we are as what's known as a top rated seller. We could be a premium seller, but we choose not to because we don't like packing up and packaging and sending on the same day because it gets in the way of general day life. But before I get into the whys and what fors and how we got there and why we put a pause on it, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Barbie dolls. 1 every minute is sold in the world. On top of that, $23 billion are expected to be spent on fashion dolls in this year alone around the world. That is a lot of money that is being spent on dolls. And if you want to be part of it, I have certainly been part of it the last few years, then you need to listen up. But as I said, we paused it. But before we get into it, why am I dressed like this? Why do I have this behind me? Well, I'm dressed like this because Barbie's quite a glamorous lady. We generally sell vintage Barbies, and she was very much a glamorous then with lots of sparkles and pink and glamour. I don't wear a lot of pink. I'm nearly 60 at midlife and it really wouldn't suit me. Where do we buy them from? I'll go into that. But I can tell you now, we pretty much always thrift our Barbie dolls, be it from Vinted, be it from eBay itself, car boots, charity shops, yard sales, you name it. If we see a Barbie doll, it's at the right price, we think there's a profit in it, we will buy it. So let's get into it then. I am surrounded by Barbie dolls. Some of these have actually sold and we'll put little prices on the screen over them and you can see which ones are sold and we're going to package them up because we still have a limited shop on eBay. But before that, we used to have 1,100 items listed. We had a premium shop on eBay. We now have the standard shop on eBay and I'll get into that, why we dropped it down to that level and will we go back to the levels that we were previously at. But yeah, only about a tenth of this is listed and we generally have Barbies. But when you're buying Barbies, and you'll find this if you do decide to go into it, when you're buying Barbies at auction or at a boot sale, you generally just don't end up buying Barbies. Because children, which they're generally bought for, even though there are lots of amazing adult collectors out there, and we're very lucky that we have got customers on eBay who have stuck from us really from those early days when we only had 30, 40, 50, 60 listings on. They've stuck with us right the way through. You ask yourself, why have they stuck with us? Well, they've stuck with us because we always make sure what you buy is what is written on the tin. For the simple reason is, if we say it's chewed or the hair is chopped or it's smelly, and that is one thing we will never ever sell on eBay. Barbie collectors, and as a parent as well, people generally don't want something that stinks. I wouldn't want something that stinks, so why would I sell something that stinks? So when we're buying our stock, you know, yes, we do thrift it and it's always second hand and it has been handled by children. There'll be chocolate, there'll be jam, there'll be matted hair, there'll be waxy hair, tacky hair, there'll be chopped hair, there'll be chewed hands. All that is perfectly acceptable. A lot of that you can remedy with easy fixes that I'll be dropping on future videos about reselling and thrifting Barbie dolls. What you can't fix is cigarette or cigar smoke smell. Sadly, you can't fix that. You can try and fix it. A lot of people on eBay will say, oh, you can put it in cat litter, or you can put it in rice, or you can put it out in the sunshine, you know, you can bathe it. No, there is always a lingering stale smell of cigarette smoke. I will never ever buy anything. The first thing I do, I'm not, as I say, not bothered about any chews or what else. I will smell it. When I'm going up to someone's door to pick up something from Marketplace, I will smell the outside of their house. If I can smell cigarette smoke, I'll say, oh, sorry, no, we've changed our mind, and walk away. I am not going to taint my stock with cigarette smoke. So that is something to bear in mind if you're thinking about going into it. And that is also another reason why our Barbie buyers have stuck with us this long, because they can trust us. They can trust what they see is what they will get, and it's not going to smell. So anyway, I digress. Why did we slow down? Why did we press pause when we were doing so well? And we did have a lot of fun. My husband, as I say, worked with a company that supplied the emergency services, and he worked with all men, and they were all men's men, and they used to take the mickey out of him a lot until such time as he saw the figures we were actually doing very well. But why did we press pause? Well, when the film came out, we were doing exceptionally well. Film came out, every man and beast and supplier thought, right, let's sell Barbie stuff. And it came to a point where Mattel, who produces Barbie, were not really keeping up with the glowing trends. They brought a fantastic film out, but we personally believe they lost the plot on their clothing, the dolls they were bringing out, and the accessories they were bringing out. Whereas other companies, be it Disney or whatever, were making better products, and a lot of homemade people, homemade sellers on Vinted and something, were bringing out some fantastic quality clothing, shoes and dolls and everything that were far superior than Mattel Barbie were actually bringing out. So we lost a lot of sales to that. On top of that, because the Barbie film came up, well, what happens when something's ultra successful? Well, the price rockets on everything up. So the costs drastically increased, including going round to thrifting and car boots and charity shops. Because the film was out, all these other places and individuals were putting their prices up. And also, going around car boots, it was like going to buy gold, because you had to get there really early to buy the Barbies, because everyone suddenly wanted Barbies, because the grown-ups were reliving their childhood, and the children were saying, I want that Barbie doll, and they were running around and buying every Barbie. So the stock was limited. Even the auction prices went through the roof. So the costs had gone up, postal costs had gone up, and eBay fees went up as well across the board in the last few years that we're doing it, because eBay was expanding. And then one of the things that really made us rethink is eBay then brought in this ruling about that you could, as a personal seller, you could sell for free. Well, we pay huge fees. We generally pay between 20 and 30% fees on eBay, and we had to load those fees on anything we were selling. So we were actually being undercut by private sellers, because we've always done it the proper way. We set up a business and we paid our taxes. So we had our accounts fees, our tax fees, our eBay fees, and then we had to the stock profit, our time and energy, because you buy a doll, and you'll see, if I can pick a doll, say this one here, right, this one here, she is gorgeous. She's got her ring and she's got her earrings. She's not supposed to have that colour hair. Now, I actually quite like that colour hair. We bought it from a car boot recently. You may have seen it. I've put the rubber bands on because it sets her hair, so it gives her a nice kink when we're due to photo her. And so there's a lot of work that goes into it. If I didn't like that colour, I would have to wash her hair. I would then reset it. But I actually quite like it. It's got the original crinkle in it. And you know what? It's quite different. She is a vintage doll. She's from the 2000s. But a lot of work goes in. Sometimes, certainly the early 80s dolls, their hair was quite tacky and they would need a really good clean-up. And that takes hours. Also, if they've got marks on them, you have to put various creams on them to draw out the marks. So a lot of work goes into it. It's not like, oh, I pay 50p for that, I'm going to resell it tomorrow for £60. It doesn't work, unfortunately, that way. So there is, there was a lot of time, effort and cost going into it. And with eBay pulling that stunt on us, and actually they pulled it just after we'd just got back from a conference. Why couldn't they say at the conference? Well, they knew all small businesses were going to be really cross about that. But the real carbosh came to us for when we have always had 100% rating on eBay. At the moment, it is 99.6. Well, we work really hard to keep our customers happy, to communicate, to post out to them when we say, and as I say, to deliver what they're buying at a reasonable cost. We are not the cheapest seller on eBay, but we're not the most expensive. We believe in quality and value for money. We got 5 negatives. Now, 2 we did deserve, and we got those in the last 12 months when we started to run it down, and we did deserve them. 1 we didn't get off in time, and so it was delayed. The other one got lost in the post. We did refund her, but she still chose to give us a neutral, which might as well be a negative on eBay. So we got those 2, but the other 3 we really didn't deserve. We got a negative and 2 neutrals. You can go on our site if you like, drop a comment below, and we will tell you what our site is. But the negative we really didn't deserve. It got lost in the post. It happens. We sold 14,000 items. Out of that, we probably getting lost in the post was probably about 75. It rarely happens, but it does happen. We will always say to the buyer, we always get proof of postage. We have a labelling machine, so we get tracking right door to door, because we've learned. We put them in a sealed envelope, just like this one here, but she gets resealed. Oh, she just broke. She gets resealed just before we're going to sell her. And a nice little label goes on her. Thank you very much for supporting our small business. And she gets them wrapped in bubble wrap and then boxed. So we send all our Barbies securely. We're very proud what we sell and, as I say, what we deliver. And she gave us a negative because she didn't receive her item. You may think, well, yeah, she's right to send us a negative. Well, we felt that was unfair. We refunded her all her money because we claim it back. We could say, well, actually, you claim it back. You've got all the details. You've got all the tracking details, which a lot of sellers do. But we don't. We like to do it on their behalf. We claimed it back, but we claimed it back after we refunded them. And actually, she was so upset, we actually sent her a freebie in the post as well, which we took on the cost of the post for that. So she received a refund. She received a freebie because she said they were distraught by it, that they didn't receive the item, and called us a liar to boot. I complained to eBay, and I said it was unfair. You know, we've taken all these steps. You know, it is just sometimes happens, and they refuse to take that negative down. Now, on eBay, this is becoming an increasing thing, that people are doing things. I'm not necessarily saying this, but I did it, but to get something for free, saying they ordered it, gets delivered, and they say they didn't receive it, especially if you haven't sent it tracking. And I think this is becoming an increasing problem. Also, I think some people are just keyboard warriors. Another buyer bought some stands from us, said they didn't fit properly. Well, she bought a bigger stand for a smaller doll. I did explain that, but she wasn't interested. Again, left us a neutral. I explained to eBay the issue. She had bought the wrong stand. I was happy to refund her and send her the right stand, but that wasn't good enough. So we sort of lost faith in eBay supporting businesses that had worked very hard. As I say, for 5 years, we had 100% feedback. We dropped to 99.6, and things like that matter to us. And we just thought, what is the point now? We're working harder for less profit. It's hard work. We're not getting the support from the platform we're selling. And you're saying, well, why aren't they selling elsewhere? Why aren't they selling on another platform? Well, we have a busy life. We have 2 children at home, 1 in uni, 1 at college. I have a husband. We both work in quite demanding jobs. I'm also a carer for my mother. We had 2 dogs, and we have a home to upkeep. And it just thought, what's the point in doing it? It was putting too much pressure on the family. So we thought, no, we're going to press pause and just live without it, because the profit margin was starting to get smaller and smaller. So yes, that brings us right up to today. Are we thinking about reigniting it? Well, as I say, we've got about 150 listings on eBay. We do it for a little bit of pin money here and there. Maybe we're going to restart again and see if it's still the same out there now. So that's why we've got this bad boy here. This has got 60 Barbie Kens in here, vintage Ken dolls, because we felt Barbie was getting a bit outnumbered, as you can see behind us. Anyway, I'll be doing that as a separate haul video. I hope you join us for that. This will be in a new playlist. We may move it over to another channel because obviously we do a lot of local history and we do car booting, and you may not be interested in this. But anyway, for now we'll keep it on this channel. Please tell us your thoughts on this. Would you like to see more of this on our channel? Because as I say, if you've been watching our car booting, you'll certainly see us buying them then. I think we've actually sold one of the ones we bought at Car Boots with you the other day. I can't remember it, but I'll put it in the bubble in the ether in a minute so you can see it. But yeah, please join us again for the haul video. I hope you not like the new playlist we'll be bringing to this channel. And yeah, if you're thinking about doing it, do it. As I say, there's £23 billion to be had out there. Not saying you're going to get it all, because we may want a tiny bit of that, but it's good to do. Plus it's fun. We have a lot of fun. I get to play with dolls all over again, and I really do enjoy it. Probably a little bit too much. My husband doesn't, but he's the packer. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.